Hello everyone, bonjour et bienvenue. Welcome to my Nodapai Channel. Today's topic is what is the difference in fasting practice between Japan and overseas countries. Hi, I'm Takashi, or you can call me Nodapai, which is my nickname, came from my family name. I'm a fasting researcher. I'm a researcher in fasting or nutrition science in general. I'm Japanese, but now I'm currently living and studying in Bordeaux in France at Bordeaux University. In this channel, I'm gonna navigate you fasting to the next level. I'm going to talk about knowledge, information, and techniques about fasting. So today's topic is what is the difference between Japan and overseas countries in fasting, in way of fasting. How people do fast, how people think about fasting. You know, Japan is kind of very unique country. Japan is, I would say, Galapagos company, Galapagos country. You say like that? Galapagos phenomenon. Anyway, Japan is a very unique, and sometimes it's completely different, completely distinct feature we have in everywhere in our society, our custom, people's behavior, culture, because we are surrounded by the sea, completely surrounded by the sea, completely separated by the continent, and you know, we have a kind of somewhat long history of how can I say, 鎖国って何? We have a history of how can I say, closed and solidated from other countries. Before that, once before we didn't communicate the other countries, which we call sakoku. We didn't communicate with other countries. We are very focused in our inside. So we have a kind of distinct cultural background, and even after the World War, we didn't have war. We have own culture, own religion, and of course we mix another culture like U.S. and European countries with our own self, but we still have the protected culture and very narrow-minded way of thinking. Anyway. So we have a kind of distinct feature in everywhere in our society, and it is also the case in fasting, how people do fast, how people think about fasting. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the difference, three big difference. I think it is interesting. Okay, so first difference in way of fasting between Japan and overseas countries. Overseas countries, I mean basically US or other advanced European countries like France and Germany. Okay, what is first difference? It is that how they deal with coffee or other caffeinated drinks when fasting. It sounds a little bit trivial, but I think it's interesting. So in Japan, when people do fasting, they are basically discouraged to drink coffee. They are discouraged to drink any caffeinated drinks because it's too strong, too stimulating. It might sound strange for you, right? Because why is that? Why we can drink coffee when fasting, right? And I think as far as I know, in European country or in the US especially, people are not discouraged to drink coffee. They are allowed to drink coffee, and sometimes they are encouraged to drink coffee when they feel hunger or when they feel they wanna something inside it. They wanna eat or drink, taste something, right? So it is interesting. It's completely different. I don't know exactly why, but I can say one or two reasons for that. First of all, I have to say that Japan is very special, very unique. There is only one mainstream for the fasting. How can I say? There is one. How can I say that? Mainstream. It's very difficult to say, but in Japan, people do fast very similar way, in the same way, always the same. There is no variation because we have a very strong one mainstream approach for the fasting. There are a lot of fasting advisors, instructor, but they all teach in the same way. That's the thing. That's true. So when people do fast in Japan, they really doing it in the same way, and they all tend to avoid caffeinated drinks like coffee. Okay, and a way of fasting in Japan derived from European countries, more like European countries, especially Germany. So we have a lot of things in common in European way of fasting, first of all. And in my opinion, in European countries and in Japan, people tend to do fasting for how can I say, for any spiritual reason, I would say. They want to, of course, they want to do something for our health, for maintaining or losing weight, but at the same time, we want to do that. We want to do fasting for our spirits, for cleaning our inside, for cleaning ourselves, our body and our spirits. Right? It's something like that. In contrast, in the US, people do fast for basically for their health, right? For their diet, for their dieting, right? And the people tend to think about it more scientific way, more how can I say? Yeah, more scientific way, more physical way. Or in contrast, we tend to think about it more spiritual way. It's very good. It's very good for our spirit, our mind, something like that. I think there is a kind of difference for that. So so European people might feel sympathy for that. We want to do fast for our spirits, right? And that kind of concept, that kind of way of thinking really match with our culture, like Shinto, our religious, Shinto and Buddhism. We have a main two religion in Japan. We have Buddhism and Shinto. Actually, there are not so many religious people, but these two religions have been highly or deeply penetrated into our culture, our customs, people's behavior. So people pray for God, pray for Buddha, or people commute to the shrine, commute to the temples, even though they don't believe God. It's very unique, right? That is our custom, more like a custom, right? So, for example, in Buddhism, we have a Buddhism or Buddhist cuisine. how can I say, Buddhism dishes, cuisine. We call it Shojin ryori. In Shojin ryori, it is basically plant-based diet, vegetarian or vegan diet. We avoid any animal products, fishes, animals, and we also avoid, of course, alcohol, Coke, Pepsi, and we're gonna avoid strong smell food like onion and garlic and leeks and coffee. Strong smell. It's too strong, too stimulating, too much stimuli for us, for our mind, when you want to clean yourself like that. So in Japan, more people think that stimulating food is not good for our health, not good, especially for our mind. So this kind of concept lead to the thinking that when you do fast, you don't want to drink coffee or any strong smells food or drinks, something like that. Maybe there is another reason, but I think something like that. So first, the difference is that how to deal with coffee when people do fast. Okay. And second thing is more like period. How frequently or how long people do fast is different in Japan compared to the US or other European countries. As I said, there is only one stream of fasting in Japan, and they all do in the same way, and we call it long fasting, but maybe in English it's gonna be like periodic fasting. Periodic fasting is the mainstream of the how to do fast in Japan, where people fast for several consecutive days, like 3 days, and 4 days, 5 days, continuously, or sometimes 1 week or 2 weeks. So it is the main way to fast in Japan. And as far as I know, in the US, the intermittent fasting, like 5 versus 2 diet, or alternative fasting is very popular. So people do fast in more, how can I say, short cycle, like 1 day and another, or 2 days per week, 2 days fast per week, something like that. Sorry. So in the US, intermittent fasting is more like popular, and it's not in Japan. In Japan, fasting is more like kind of big event. We're gonna focus on fasting when the people do fast, and we tend to have longer consecutive days for fast. It's a difference. I don't want to say which is better or not. There should be a lot of variation, a lot of way to do fast. But one thing I would say is Japan is very unique, very badly unique, because we just have one way to do fast. So I think people can extend their mind, and maybe they can incorporate another way to do fast, because doing fasting regularly is the most important thing, I think. So that is the second difference. And the third one is, yeah, it's very interesting, but what is different is that what they eat, what they intake when fasting is different. You know, in fasting, we eat something. Even in fasting, we intake some amount of calories. In medical settings, we call fasting if they restrict daily energy intake less than 5 or 600 kilocalorie. It's fasting. And in fasting, they want intake some kind of some amount of calorie and energies from liquidous or fluid food like soup and juice or smoothie, something like that. So you eat or you drink somewhat even in fasting. And many European countries or the US, people tend to drink smoothie or juice, vegetable juice, fruit juice, or eat hot soups when you do fast. But in Japan, we only have one thing. That is, in Japanese, coarse juice, coarse drink. It means fermented juice. So when people do fast in Japan, they absolutely want to drink this kind of specific fermented drink for fasting. So we have a specific fasting drink, I would say. It's very interesting, right? It's made from fasting drink made from vegetable and added sugar, added natural sugar, and vegetable fruits and herbs. Basically vegetable and fruits and herbs and sugar and enzyme and fermented it to allow fermentation. It's like very dense sauce from vegetable. It's different, but it's a bit similar to Vegemite. I would say, Vegemite. Anyway, it's kind of very dense fermented drink from natural products. Okay, we have it. We have fasting drink, so we drink it. That's all. We drink it for fasting. That's all. It's very easy. We have a specific drink. It's not cheap though. So yeah, it's very different. Maybe you want to try Japanese fasting drink. Okay. So in summary, we have a very distinct culture also for the fasting. We just have one mainstream, and we are discouraged to drink coffee, and we tend to do periodic consecutive days fasting, and we have a specific fasting drink. So if you want to try Japanese fasting, maybe you can ask me. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you for watching, and thank you for putting some comment to my video. And if you enjoy watching as far as I did, please press like button, and why not subscribe it. Okay, so thank you for all. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video. À bientôt. Bisous.